Chatting Tracks. Let's talk music.
Hello, it's Robbie from Chatting Tracks. How you doing? Welcome along to today's episode. Thank you for joining me on this Sunday afternoon hang. Got some cool stuff to show you today. Got some really, really cool stuff. Going to go through some vinyls, going to look at some bits and bobs. And I really appreciate you joining me. Thanks for being here. If you've got any messages, hit me up in the comments as well. We're going to start by going through some records though and some bits and bobs. Right, I need that chat box out. That reminds me. Let's get this chat box out of the way. And then I can get rid of this as well. We're going to look at some cool stuff. We're going to look at some James Bond later. And then we're going to go through some vinyl as well. And I thought I'd show you some more of the vinyl stuff that I had in the box because I didn't show it all last week. So we're going to go through a bit of that as well. So we'll do some of that stuff. Right, hang on. Let me get this out. This little chat box. Oh, that's a pop out. Oh, technology, eh? Technology. What would you do with it? Actually, if not, I'll leave it in there. It won't matter, will it? So, show chat. There we go. So anyway, we're going to go through some vinyls. I'm going to show you some cool stuff. Let's start, first of all, with a little bit of Queen as well, because I got a bit of a Queen vinyl the other day. I've got two, in fact, so I'm going to show you both of these. First up, we got this little tiny one. This was the 50th anniversary version of Night at the Opera. It was 50 years old recently, and to celebrate, they released some vinyl, which is super, super cool. Right, let's have a look at this. Right, there we go. And then we got, look at that bit of blue vinyl. How cool is that? Now, interestingly, I was in HMV the other day, and I was looking at this one and the album, which I'll show you in a minute. And to get the 12-inch single was going to cost the same amount to get the original vinyl, which I don't understand. But yeah, so they wanted about the same amount of money for the same sort of thing, which was really confusing. But I don't know how it works. But yeah, they wanted the same money. Anyway, right, let's have a look at this. Here's some deep dives that I bought this week. Got some really cool stuff. The fantastic Grateful Dead and American Beauty, I think that's how you pronounce it, or American Reality. The way it's written, you can't really tell what it is, but it's a really cool vinyl. This was an absolute minter I picked up as well, so it just sounds absolutely beautiful. I mean, this album's from 1970, and it just sounds super cool. Right, let's just make sure that's working. Give me 1 second. Send that to myself to make sure that's all working. Yeah, that's working fine. Yeah, so it's a really, really cool vinyl. Just sounds amazing. Let's get that thing over there as well. Technology is just so confusing. It really, really is. Right, there we go. So, right, that's that one. Then, yet again, marking 50 years, and it's amazing conception, history, absolutely amazing album. There's a fantastic documentary called Strange Journey, which is all about how they made the film and the vinyl and all that sort of stuff. Well worth a look if you get a chance. And I picked this vinyl up because I just had to have it. It's the 50th anniversary of the Rocky Horror Picture Show. What a fantastic soundtrack this is. Now, even if you don't like the film, you've got to admit that the actual, like, the music on this album is fantastic. Like Richard O'Brien, what a great songwriter. Shock Treatment, the second one, wasn't as popular, and I've never actually seen that one. But this first album, the songwriting on this is amazing. When you get to a song like I'm Going Home, sung by Tim Curry, it's absolutely heartbreaking, and it's a fantastic, fantastic record. And I'll show you the vinyl on this because this is amazing. So you've got some sleeve notes there as well, and you've got a bit of the limited edition pictures from in the studio. This Tim Curry with a bottle in his hand singing, brilliant. Check the colour of this out. Look, this is just beautiful. Look at that, golden red, and that a wonderful thing. Look at this, isn't that beautiful? And it's 180 grams. It's going to sound absolutely amazing. I'm going to play this in a little bit when I get off here. Yeah, I had to just dig this one out. So, where am I putting stuff? Where I'm putting it? Right. So I had an album. I got this habit of getting albums, and then eventually these albums kind of disappear, and I can't find them. And I don't know where they go, or maybe I lend them to people and they go missing, like long-term loans or whatever. I've no idea. But so I've got this. I've had to rebuy this because I don't know where it went. I couldn't find it, so I've had to rebuy this vinyl. And it's the amazing Roxy music. And this has got Ladytron on it. I think this is the first album. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, absolutely fantastic. And I did have this. I had this somewhere, and I've got pictures of me like with it. And then for some reason, somewhere along the line, I absolutely lost it, and I don't know where it went. But yeah, so yeah, I paid 15 quid for it. But yeah, really, really good vinyl. Glam up to your eyeballs. Absolutely amazing music on this album. If you like a bit of Roxy music, definitely check this out. And I love Brian Ferry's voice. He did a fantastic song called Tokyo Joe off one of his solo albums, and it's just one of those songs that's just brilliant. Okay, following up, as we were saying, I had to pick the album up just because this is a fantastic album. Now, me and my friend Andy, we did a deep dive into this album on the YouTube channel. If you get a chance, pop over there. This is the YouTube channel, so pop over there and check that out as well, because we've got interviews and deep dives, all sorts of stuff, and that's the channel that you can find this deep dive on there for. And the wonderful Night at the Opera by Queen. This is a brilliant album as well. This is the kitchen sink album they were making. They were either going to be successful or they were going to tank, and they weren't going to get anywhere. And this was the album that they need to make sure they survived. If this album failed, Queen were done. There would be no Queen now. And you would have had these, first 4 or 5 albums that were from a band from the 70s, early 70s that were really interesting, and then they would have vanished. So this album was so important to Queen because it's just a brilliant album. And it's brilliant. It's produced by Roy Thomas Barker and Queen. It's designed by Mike Stone. So yeah, the back title is slightly different, but it's really cool. And then you've got this amazing picture of them live in the early 70s. Look at this. This is amazing. And then let's dig the vinyl out and take a look at this. Look at that. Beautiful, clear, see-through vinyl. Check that out. Isn't that lovely? That's a beautiful vinyl. Look at that. I love that. Right. Yeah. Oh, I've got to be so careful with everything. Otherwise, damage it all. Right. Let's get this back in here as well. Right. So, like I said, I was going to show you some more vinyl this week that I've picked up, and it was in a box, and I wasn't sure what it was, and I dug a bit of stuff out, and I thought we'd just take a look at some of that stuff. So I think we're going to do a bit of Beatles. We're going to do solo Beatles and Beatles all mixed together, because I've got a big mixed bunch of all their stuff. So we're going to do it all together. I did your Bowie last week and showed you some picture discs. I'm literally just going to deep dive into this. Look how I've organised these things. I'm such a tart when it comes to this sort of thing. So I'm just going to dig into the box. I'm going to pull them out as they got put in there, whenever they got put in there. I've got no idea when they got put in that order. So we'll go through a bit of that as well. Right, excuse me, I'm just going to get a drink.
The Chatting Tracks live stream.
Honestly, it does make you thirsty when you're talking to yourself. And yes, okay, so we're going to go through these. We're going to deep dive into some of these. We're just going to pick out a load of stuff and just see what's in here. The problem isn't getting out the vinyl. The problem is, where do I put it once I've shown it to you? 'Cause I can't put it back because I can't find the space. But basically, I've got a big box of stuff that I used to have where I collected vinyl. I put my favourite ones in a certain box. If it was Beatles, Bowie, anything like that, they got put in certain places, so I knew exactly where things were. And then that way I knew that's where it was, and it's collectible. I've got some collectibles in here, which I'll show you at some point as well. And I've got some bargains in this box. I might just do it every couple of weeks. I might just not do it all today. I might just show you some bits and bobs. And then we can go through the websites as well. I've got the Chatting Tracks website to show you some bits on there as well that we've got about. Right, so up first. Oh, okay. So yeah, it's going to be a big jumbled order. We've got No More Lonely Nights by Paul McCartney. Now, this is a fantastic single by Paul. Absolutely fantastic. I don't know if you see the film Give My Regards to Broad Street, which is what this is off. Now, I saw the film literally last year. I found a copy and I watched it, and it's a really bizarre movie because they said to Macca, "Do what you want," and he really did. And it's like some fever dream that he had, and it's a nice idea, but it's a terrible film. But in it is this amazing song, and this is one of his best songs, his finest songwriting, his finest singing. When he's in the early 80s, his voice was absolutely on point. And I absolutely love his vocals in this. It's absolutely brilliant. That's a great single. Like I said, it's going to be a real mixed bag of original singles, new singles, whatever I could find in there, basically. So we've got a lot of stuff going on in there. Original Parlophone copy. Oh, hang on, I've got 2 records here. This is the wonderful Paperback Writer. Now, Paperback Writer is a fantastic single, no doubt. But for me, it's all about the B-side, which is Rain, which is one of their best songs. Rain by the Beatles is absolutely incredible. I did a playlist, which I might pop on the bottom of this recently, and I did all the sort of album tracks from the Beatles. And I took I took the number 1 album, took all the greatest hits off of it, and literally just did it as an album of songs that, all the album tracks. And even playing it, it's still a really good, solid album. Like if they did an album of deep cuts of the Beatles, you'd still get a bang for your buck. Great music, and everything was fantastic. A little bit earlier, so we're going back a little bit earlier. We've got I Want to Hold Your Hand, which is a fantastic single. Yet again, if you flip it over though, you've got This Boy, which yet again is a brilliant single. Like This Boy is a brilliant single by the Beatles, and the harmonies on this are absolutely on point. And it's just a fantastic single. Beatles were so good. They gave you an A-side and a B-side that were definitely worth looking at, and they were just so good at what they did. They were brilliant. Okay, we've got a single from Apple now, which George got sued over quite heavily. Poor sod. This is My Sweet Lord, and he got done for He's So Fine. I think it's by the Chiffons, and he got sued for that because it's too similar. And then in the court cases, the the judge said, actually, I like both records. So you sort of think, what's the point then? It's defeated the object, isn't it? Hello in Twitch, Lavska. Can I send my music? Absolutely, you can. Of course, you can. You can send it over to us. If you want me to review it, send it to my go to www.chattingtracks.com and get my details on there. Follow me on TikTok, and it's got my link on there, and there might be a link on Twitch as well. So follow me on there if you want to do that. No problem. A wonderful single from John Lennon from 1980. Beautiful, beautiful single for the other half of his Sky. There we go. It's Woman by John Lennon, and I just love this record. What a lovely sentiment to his wife. He's just singing about how much he loves her, and you know, he says for the other half of the Sky, and that's what it's like when you have a wonderful partner behind you. It just feels like you're one complete universe. And yeah, brilliant. I just love this record. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful, beautiful record. It's fantastic. Can you send me the link in the chat? You can do, but I don't know if I would retrieve it. If not, like I say, follow me on TikTok under Chatting Tracks. And then that way I can find it there, and we can do it that way if you want to. Not a problem. Just send it through that way. This is a lovely little thing. This is an original that I picked up many, many moons ago. I can't even tell you where I got it now, but it's absolutely fantastic. It's the Magical Mystery Tour EP set from the Beatles. Look at this. This is wonderful. And it comes with a vinyl. I've got to be really careful because this is an original from 67. Look at that. And you've got a lovely little book. Oh, sorry about that. I hit the microphone. Look at this. Look at this. It's fantastic, isn't it? Interestingly, this week, I'm off work. Check this out. There we go. Interestingly, I'm going to be off work this week, and I'm going to do a tour of the Beatles in Kent. So they shot some of the Penny Lane and Strawberry Fields video in a park in Kent. And I'm going to do a walking tour with a guide from the local area, and he's going to show me around and take me around Kent and show me all those areas where they filmed a lot of the stuff. And I'll be putting it on this channel in bits and bobs, so you'll get an idea of what we did. But yeah, so the Beatles filming in Kent, and also there's a shop that he's going to take me to where John Lennon saw a circus poster that says Frankers Fair. And that's the poster that John read out for the Sgt. Pepper, being for the Benefit Mr. Kite track. It come from that one poster, and he got it in Kent. But this is a lovely piece of book. Look at this. Isn't this lovely? Look at this. There we go. Let me show you one more. Oh, there's 2 records in here. So it's record 1 is Mystery Tour, Does Your Mother Know? And the second one is Fall in the Hill Flying and Blu-ray J. Look at this. This is beautiful. You know what I mean? I don't think I've ever actually opened this since I got it. I've just kept it closed because I don't want to damage it. But it's a lovely, lovely little single, that. Right, what else we got? We've got some picture discs coming up as well, so don't worry. They're not all just labelled and that. Oh, cool. Didn't know that. If people say to me, what's your favourite Beatles song, Robbie? What is your favourite? It has to be this one record, and it's Get Back. I just love the Get Back record. I just think it's one of the best rock songs ever written. And if you watch Peter Jackson's Get Back, videos, you see him writing it, and it's amazing to see Paul sitting there just bobbing away to himself, and then all of a sudden, he's writing it in front of your eyes. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen in my life. And and I was like, oh my God, he's doing the song, and, and just to see him doing it in front of your face is just amazing, isn't it? Right, well, just make sure this is all live and it's all going on. That's wonderful. Make sure everything's working. Fantastic. So we're going through some Beatles singles. We're going to take a look at those as well. And let me just click on this to make sure this is working. Yeah, that's working. Dismiss that. Lovely. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Honestly, this stuff is so confusing to you sometimes. It's just, so like I said, I do buy the singles and I collect them, and I put them all together and make sure I've got them in a box. But this is the sort of stuff I bought. So this is the Beatles Yellow Submarine picture disc, which came out a few years ago, but I've not even opened it. It's still sealed. I literally keep these things sealed so I don't damage them, and just put them away safe. And fantastic. That's a lovely single as well. Yellow Submarine. People have a mixed feelings about Yellow Submarine. I really like Yellow Submarine. I think it's a great little single and a great little film as well. And I know the Beatles didn't really have anything to do with it, and it wasn't their sort of thing because they weren't really interested. But it still doesn't mean it's naff, And I know they didn't voice it and all that sort of stuff. But it was fantastic. I think it's a fantastic little movie. Oh, there we go. Accidentally, I pulled out a picture disc with Yellow Submarine on it. So there's the picture disc. These come out in the 80s, I think it was. When does this come out? Oh, it doesn't say. It's 66 on its original print. So these picture discs come out in the 80s, I think, and I bought some of these as I've been going along, and I've got a few to show you as I'm going. Is it better to show you theirs? Can you see it better? Yeah. Let me know in the comments what you listen to as well. I'd love to know what sort of music you're checking out and bits and bobs like that, because I'm super interested in what people like. Is that working? Open widget. Forgive me 1 minute because it's all just playing up. Anyway, yeah. Then we've also got the Beatles, Get Back and Don't Let Me Down, another picture single. There we go. That's a good one as well. What if I hold it in this hand? Is this better? No. Okay, yeah. So that's another pitch disc one. And you can collect the set 20th anniversary vinyls. There we go. It's the whole list of it. And I think I've got them all. We'll go through some of those in a minute. We've got the amazing Hey Jude picture disc as well. Lovely single, 7 minutes long. I was saying last week that when Elvis, I went to the Elvis exhibition years ago, he had a copy of Hey Jude and he'd circled out and drawn a line which said 7 minutes. So he was literally obsessed with the fact it was 7 minutes long. Like he was all over that. That's really, really cool. They've just been remastered and back from the early 90s. These are my copies. I bought these in the shop actually. The amazing Real Love by the Beatles from the Anthology number 2. I think that was. Was it the other way around? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah. So obviously the Anthologies are getting remastered and they're coming out on vinyl soon. On the 26th of this month, you're going to get a new box set. Also, Peter Jackson's cleaned up the original Anthologies, which they absolutely needed a HD copy for years because I've got the DVDs and you couldn't get a Blu-ray copy, I don't think. And it looked like an old VHS and it was awful. And now we've got a 4K restoration. It's going to be mind-blowing. I've heard they've added bits, they're putting new bits on. It's all just going to be absolutely incredible. So that's going to be fantastic. Following up, we have the amazing Free as a Bird single as well to go with the Anthology series. Now, originally, Now and Then, apparently, there was a couple of songs and Now and Then was meant to be a forerunner for Anthology Part 3. So you have a new single. So it was Free as a Bird, Real Love. That's right. Yeah, this is on 1, isn't it? So yeah, Free as a Bird, Real Love, and then Now and Then, or whichever single they chose to do. But that didn't happen. And they ended up putting out, basically the singles, that the demos they had wasn't strong enough. So they had to change the record, basically. That's what happened. The Beatles didn't have the technology to make John Lennon sound great at the time, so they had to take it out, which is what they did. And then that's why you got Now and Then come out at the end of last year. We've got this is a collectible record I didn't know I had. This is limited edition souvenir of the second London Beatles Day, Bonning Hotel 1990, organised by the fans for the fans. So I don't even actually know what this is. I don't think I've ever played it, but this is the Beatles single that's never heard this one before. So yeah, I might have to play this later. Actually, this is the thing. Like, I dig this vinyl out, and I do this, and I show you stuff, and we talk about music, and then I forget all this stuff. I just find it as I'm going along, and I'm like, what's this? And then it's like that one. I'm like, I need to play this one. I don't know what this is, Right, what else have we got as well? We've got Please Please Me as a picture disc. This is a great single as well. We'll get early Beatles. So when we did a deep dive, me and my friends, if you go to the YouTube channel, hang on, let me get the photo up. Which is that one there. We did a deep dive into Rubber Soul recently, and we were basically saying that Beatles fans can go into 3 parts, in my opinion. I think you can have all-timers. You can have, like, I'm a later Beatles fan, and I'm an all Beatles fan, but if I had to pick it, it's from 1965 onwards, 66 onwards. That's when I really like the Beatles. Some people like all of it, which is fair enough, and some people like the early period. A bit like Elvis, they don't like him in the white jumpsuits, but they like him in the army period and things like that. That's more than fair enough as well. But for me, when they're later, so I've got these singles, but I'm more of a fan of the later Beatles period. I think that's when it gets super interesting for me. Original Apple pressing 103 or 1003. John Lennon's Instant Karma. Check this out. What a great single this is. We all shine on like the stars, the moon, and the sun. Brilliant, brilliant vocal he put on that. Brilliant. And what I love about it is you can hear he's really sort of rasping into the vocal on this, when we are, he's like really, really angry in it. It sounds just wonderful though. And it says on the back, Who's Seen the Wind, which is the B-side, it says Play Quiet on it. I love that. Lennon in that early 70s period was just absolutely incredible. All the middle years, I think you can take and leave some of it. But then once you get to the later John Lennon, that's when you really, really get amazing. Give me 1 second. I don't know what that does. I don't know what that does. Again, you got to press things. I'm just pressing things. Give me 1 second. All right, let's do that. Don't know what that does. I've done something anyway. So let's go for some more Beatles records. So I've got a second one of Woman. I've got 2 copies of that, evidently. I didn't know I had 2 of those. Then we've got a really great single from Milk and Honey, which is, so John Lennon, unfortunately, I'm John Lennon. And then you've got I've gone blank now. You've got the album, the main one. And then you've got Milk and Honey, which is the follow-up one. Double Fantasy. Well, it sucks to get old. Anyway, yeah, you got Double Fantasy. That comes out. And then obviously John Lennon, unfortunately, isn't here. Then after that, you get a new single, a new album, Milk and Honey, which is basically almost B-sides and stuff that's pretty good. And Nobody Told Me was on this, which is a great single from John. And look at him just smoking away with his glasses on the back. He's got his cool jacket on. I'd love to own a bit of John Lennon property, whether it's like a coat or a jacket or something. That'd be amazing. Excuse me.
The Chatting Tracks Sunday afternoon hang.
All right, we've got another record from that period. This is a really nice single as well. This is Watching the Wheels. And he does some of his great vocals on this, and I love the way he sings it. This here, if this is right, though, unfortunately, this is where I think things happened. This is, this, because I know this is the entrance to the Dakota, I think. So this is, unfortunately, this is almost a mark of where things were going to play out, which is a real shame. But this single is fantastic. If you've never heard this one, check it out. Like I said, I'm just going to do some records. I might save some for next week because I've actually got quite a lot of Beatles, and I think people will get bored. I could do a bit of Queen if you want. I could do some Queen stuff as well. From the Dark Horse record label, George Harrison, and it's this song. Now, he wrote this song in response to the fact that he got sued for My Sweet Lord. So this song, he says, doesn't sound like anything else. I think, like, words to that effect. The chords aren't the same, and da-da-da. And this is him basically kicking back and saying, this is nothing like any other record. This is George's kickback. So good on him. He's basically, released a record saying, this doesn't sound like anything else, and I've checked. So you can have a look if you want, which I love about it. I think it's great. Right, I might show you one more Beatles thing, and then we'll maybe do a website or something, because I've got a lot to show you in there. I might just leave it there and show you some of those next time. I showed this last week, actually. I can show you again. This is George Harrison and My Sweet Lord, the single that came out for Record Store Day a few years ago. Not even open still, kept it sealed like I always do. And remaster. But for some reason, I think this is Italian. All the writing on the back is from Italian, and it's got a number on it as well, so it's got a serial number on the back, which is nice. But when you got this stuff, you can't open it because you don't want to ruin it, so I've got to keep it sealed. I'll show you some stuff that I showed you last week, so that's all fun. And then we've got Now and Then, the amazing single that came out last year. I was really lucky. I was off work when that came out, and I remember just sitting by the radio, and he said, it's going to come on, and it just went. I just remember that my whole house seemed to go silent because it knew I wanted to listen to it. It's like one of those really bizarre things that happened. It was incredible. Right, let's have a look at a website, and then we'll go back to we'll just go back to what we're doing. It's fine. We'll show you some more vinyl. I might show you some Queen, actually. I've got a lot of Queen vinyl that's super interesting to look at. So let's go over to this one. So this is from my website. This is www.chattingtracks.com. I should put some bits on there so you can find the logo and stuff. Right, let me just get this ready. I need some quick command buttons is what I need. Right, what do I need? I need that one. Right, that's running. Lovely. Give me 1 second. There we go. Yeah, lovely. Yeah, honestly, I need some quick command buttons because these things don't want to work sometimes. It's a right pain. Oh, I need a pop-out box for the chat. Anyway, that's just me moaning about the software. Anyway, right, so I was taking a look at James Bond the other day because I was watching GoldenEye and I got inspired by it. And I thought, let's look at some of the top Bond songs of all time and rank them in order and put them in some sort of thing. So this is the ultimate ranking of James Bond songs from Dr. No to Time to Die. Now, this is available on www.chattingtracks.com, my website. So if you wanna see it, pop yourself on there and you can find out. There's loads of articles on there. It's a bit like the YouTube channel where I've got articles and podcasts and all sorts of stuff going on. So if you get a chance to pop on there. So at number one, we've got the amazing Goldfinger by Shirley Bassey. This is an amazing record. And if I'm right on this, I think this has got Jimmy Page on it and John Paul Jones from Led Zeppelin. They played on this in the studio because they were session musicians obviously before Zeppelin, and they were getting bits and bobs work, and this came up as well. And she says Bassey slipped behind the studio partition, removed her bra before nailing the amazing take. I held the note till I was blue in the face, and she kept going and going and going. Yeah, so that's John Barry's comment on what Shirley Bassey did. Shirley Bassey's a fantastic vocalist, isn't she? She's amazing, and she seems to be ageless. She never seems to get any older or any younger. She seems to be just timeless. That's why I love Shirley Bassey. She's brilliant. Right. Oh, hang on. Where's my thing going? Everything wants to run slow today. The amazing Skyfall by Adele. I think with Bond songs, we've got this tendency lately for the last, I don't know, let's say 5 Bond songs to go slowly. It's all ballads and it's all slow. And I think you need a banger like Live and Let Die or Nobody Does It Better. It needs to be something that's really, really kicking. But for some reason, we've got this habit of just doing ballads all the time. It's all slow. And this is a very good song, and Adele does an amazing vocal. But for me, it's not really a Bond song because it doesn't go crazy enough for me. That's why I'm not a big fan of this one. One which really should be at the top, the amazing Live and Let Die by Paul McCartney. This is an anthem all on its own, isn't it? And it's just an amazing track. It doesn't need any explaining. It's just a brilliant, brilliant song. So it says the song Powerful emerged from McCartney's teamwork with the former Beatles producer George Martin. The track was recorded during the Red Rose Speedway album, which is a very good Paul McCartney album, by the way, in autumn 1972. He said, I booked a large orchestra. The team spent the evening blending wings and the orchestra together. And he wanted to try to do it live, to do it all together. And, Macca's voice on this is absolutely amazing. This is 70s Macca, Wings Macca, brilliant Macca, on fire Macca. And he really, really just absolutely smashed this song out of the park. And it's the perfect Bond song because it has a slow intro. Then it has that big summoning sound on it that makes you pay attention. And you can't get away from it. You just can't get away from it. It's amazing. Live and Let Die definitely should be there. Yet again, see, another ballad, right? But a slow ballad that makes total sense, and Nobody Does It Better from 1977, The Spy Who Loved Me. And it's just one of those really cool tracks where Carly Simon's vocal is just absolutely on point, and it just absolutely sings along. Thank you for the link. Thank you for that, HMB Risk. He was following me on Twitch, so if you're on Twitch, you can follow me on there as well, by the way. I'll definitely check that out. Thank you very much. Thank you for the follow as well. Oh, you can have some confetti. Thank you so much for that. But it's just a really, really cool record, and it's definitely worth looking at. So yeah, I just love this record. I think this brilliant. 70s Bond things really, really had something about them, and they just seem to be larger. The 60s ones are really good, but they were more ballady, whereas when you get to the 70s ones, they're really kicking ass. They're amazing. You Only Live Twice by Nancy Sinatra. Oh, You Only Live Twice by Nancy Sinatra. That's really hard to say 3 times. So it's one of those things that this is a good single, but this film is under a lot of scrutiny at the minute, and I'm waiting for him to ban this film. Now, why would they do that? Because unfortunately in this movie, Sean Connery, he donned a Japanese looking outfit and makeup prosthetics. So I'm waiting for this film to get banned because it's going to be culturally wrong or something at some point. So Nancy Sinatra brought a gentle approach to the James Bond canon, and it's a good single, but it's not a brilliant one. It doesn't deserve to be up in the top 10 as far as I'm concerned. Diamonds Are Forever. I love Diamonds Are Forever as a Bond movie as well. I think Diamonds Are Forever is a fantastic, fantastic movie as well. Like, brilliant, brilliant film. George Lazenby, that didn't work. One movie. Then Sean Connery comes back, absolutely smashes it, and then he goes again. So he pops in and pops out. Written by Don Black and John Barry. Don Black is a great songwriter. He does some really great lyrics. He's fantastic as well. And it was ranked under Death and Cynicism. That's where they placed it. But yeah, really good. Bassey again, got a back. The Lazenby movie had sort of worked and didn't work, and they thought, we need to get this going again. So they get Sean Connery back, then they get Shirley Bassey to do the theme tune, and then they must have known they were going to be on to a winner. Absolutely brilliant. This was a really great one because I know Duran were absolutely massive Bond fans. Like Simon Le Bon lives like a James Bond character, doesn't he? Drives fast cars, model girlfriend, sails yachts, and he says, "Oh, thank you for the follow, amazing." And he is literally a James Bond addict, so it was right that Duran get to do a movie. View to a Kill was one of the interesting films. I think this is the one where Roger Moore said, "That's enough now because I'm too old." And he said, "I'm next to these young girls and I'm look like their dad and it doesn't look right anymore." So that's when he decided to come off of it. So the story began at a party where bassist John Taylor asked producer Cubby Broccoli, when you get someone decent to do one of your theme songs. I love that. That's the arrogance of you, right? Yeah, just one of the biggest film producers of all time. He's like, "Yeah, when are you going to do that then?" I just think it's amazing. Yeah, so, and that's how he got him involved. And brilliant, really good single, View to a Kill. It became a chart hit as well because why not? Written by The Edge and Bono, Golden Eye by Tina Turner. Now, what I love about this record is it's a bit like What's Love Got to Do with It, where she's got that slow like Tina Turner close to a microphone has a lovely raspy brought in voice, and it's really intimate. And then when she goes large, she really goes large, and that's what I love about it. This single is exactly the same as that. It draws you in, and then when she goes and belts out the vocal. She absolutely does it. And people do draw comparisons between GoldenEye and Diamonds Are Forever or Goldfinger. The way it's got that slow, intense vocal and then it explodes. But Tina did a fantastic job with it. Brilliant single. And it kicked off the Pierce Brosnan movies. That had to be done. Brilliant. No Time to Die by Billie Eilish. Yeah, again, I was saying earlier, like, there's nothing wrong with Billie Eilish at all. But the singles are too slow. They need to get something where it's totally, it's absolutely kicking. That's what you need. You need things like that. Whereas this one's too slow for me, and I wasn't a big fan of the movie. But that's another conversation altogether because, they're just doing horrible things to one. Anyway, The What Is Not Enough by Garbage. That's another good single from 1998 as well. And David Arnold was picked to write a score for the 19th Bond film. Arnold just finished music for Tomorrow Dies when he teamed up with season 1 lives Don Black again. So it's Don Black who wrote, Nobody Does It Better and stuff like that. So you're getting the old. Oh, so he does Nobody Better and The Spy Who Loves Me. Yeah. So you're getting classic songwriters back in again to do stuff like this. Brilliant. But again, another good single. Film was a bit iffy though, but what you can do. For Your Eyes Only. This is the most 80s sounding Bond song of all time, in my opinion. This one really, really sounds like it's the 1980s. And, Sheena Easton got a lot of flack because obviously I think she's from Scotland, I think it is. And then she went off to America and then come back with an American accent. And it was going, what's this about? Why are you talking like that? But this is just one of those ones that's all right. I think you get Bond songs that absolutely smash it and then Bond songs that are just okay. And this one's just an okay. Let me know in the comments, though, what your favourite Bond song is. I'd love to know as well. Am I right? Am I wrong? I'd love to know. Let me know in the comments. Thunderball by Tom Jones. Now, the vocal on this is phenomenal. This is Tom Jones absolutely reaching his prowess of his voice. It's amazing. It's amazing. So I'm not going to read all this out, obviously, because it's on the website, www.chattingtracks.com. So there's no point in me reading it out. But yeah, it's just, he always runs when others walk. Yeah, he laughs when other men just talk. The song sets Bond up to be separate from everybody else straight away already. You're not getting the same sort of person with Bond than you get when he's talking about this. And that's what makes that so special. This track is phenomenal. And when he's at the end and he does the big Thunderball, he does all that bit there. That's just another level of brilliant, isn't it? Absolutely incredible. I might make a playlist of all these and put it on the bottom so you can check these out as well. But as you can see on the article, I'll put the videos in. So if you can't remember the song, you just click it and you can hear it as well. Right, let's get moving. Oh, hang on. Have I gone too far? Oh, it's going slow. Now it's going fast. 1 minute. There we go. Now, Louis Armstrong. We have all the time in the world from On His Majesty's Secret Service. What a brilliant singer Louis Armstrong was. And this song is just effortless. And, I don't know if you've seen the film, but what happens is Bond gets married. And unfortunately, his partner, right at the end, I think it's Blofeld, murders Tracy, her name is, I think. And Bond is obviously upset. And he said, and the last line of the film is, "We have all the time in the world." And then this song comes in. And what an amazing song. "We have all the time in the world" is just an absolutely beautiful, beautiful song. Louis Armstrong delivers it brilliantly. His trumpet solo is brilliant as well. What can you want from a Bond theme? It's absolutely amazing. For everybody that's just joined, we're just going through some of the top Bond songs of all time from our website, www.chattingtracks.com. Don't forget to follow on here and then follow on YouTube and all the places. It massively helps me out. You Know My Name by Chris Cornell, really great rock track for a Bond film. And this is what I'm saying, like we had these big ballads and these rock tracks, and then over the last 4 or 5 films we've gone really, really slow, and it's just, what are we doing? Get Bond back to rock. You need a rock theme behind a Bond song. That's how it works. Let me know what you're listening to and what your favourite Bond film is in the titles, in the comments. I'd love to know as well what your favourite Bond one is. Not even going to bother with that one. Yet again, not a bad Bond film, and Sheryl Crow does a great vocal on it, but it doesn't stand out. It doesn't hit you in the face, does it? It's one of those things that's not, here we are. Living Daylights and a-ha. Now, I love a-ha. I think they're a really great band. Turns out they lived in England for a little while when they were working on some material, which I didn't know. And they pretty much recorded a lot of the first album in London, like wrote the demos for it and put it there as well, which is really, really super cool. But yeah, a-ha, Living Daylights. What I love about this song is it blends those 80s sounds, because obviously a-ha was simplified. Right, hang on. Start again. What I love about this record is a-ha were synthesizer lovers. So you've got all those 80s synth sounds on this record. And I think it's a Bond song for the time. And that's why it works so well, because it's got that amazing Bond sound. Timothy Dalton was a great Bond. He just had some of the worst films. If you'd put Timothy Dalton in GoldenEye or The World Is Not Enough, he would have done some amazing work on it. But anyway, it's a really great single, really, really strong. And Duran, another 80s band who got a crack at it, just did some fantastic stuff. Die Another Day by Madonna. I really like this song, and I love the film as well. But I think Madonna's vocal on this is really, really good. The fact she was using slight electronica as well to just cap her voice, almost a bit like Cher during Believe. I just like the fact you've got that mix going on, and it's a really, really, really great sound that she has on it as well. And it has that Spanish sound at the start, but really great single, really, really interesting. Right, hang on. Oh. Technology. Give me 1 second. 1 minute. We want this one. And I want... Where's my thing gone? 1 second. There we go. I want that one. Let me go back to this. You got to love tech. It just doesn't want to work anymore, does it? That's the end of the list. Yeah. Also, there's some other stuff on there. www.tracktracks.com. So I looked at Eurovision, and that's the guy in the middle there. That's Tim Staffel, who was in Queen. And Tim left Queen to join Humpy Bong, and that's when Freddie joined. And I did an interview with him, and he was a really, really lovely fella. I've got other articles on there, plus interviews as well. So if you get a chance, you definitely want to check that out, because I've got some really cool stuff in there. I've been very lucky. I've had some amazing guests on there, and I've talked to some great people and done some great things. We're going to do another website in a minute. Let's take a look at some more vinyl. What should we look at? Why don't we look at a bit of Queen? I've showed you some other stuff. Why don't we show you some Queen? Give me 1 second. Have a little sip. There we go. Okay, so a great single. This is from A Day at the Races. This is Tie Your Mother Down. And this is Queen totally rocking out and showing you what they can do. And when Queen want to rock, they really want to rock. And this record really shows it. It's a brilliant record. We've got Freddie Mercury. Freddie obviously went off and joined a musical for a little while in London by his friend Dave Clark. In the Queen catalogue, people talk to a lot of the same people, but they should really talk to Dave Clark, because Dave Clark was one of Freddie's best friends. But there's not a lot of footage of him talking about Freddie. He'd be a great person to talk to. I think he's still around, so he'd be definitely worth talking to. Anyway, this is from Dave Clark's Time musical that premiered in the Dominion Theatre in London in April '86, and it also had Cliff Richard in it as well. This is Freddie Mercury and the Time vinyl. Really, really cool. What we got here? From an interesting Queen album, really divisive. The Hot Space album. I really like the Hot Space album. I think it's a great album. But people aren't too sure on it. And people, because it was their disco album. Freddie was in gay clubs a lot, and he was immersed in that culture, and he was loving it. And why not? And so it got very disco-y. And I know the rest of Queen weren't huge fans of that, but I just think that's when he was really I think Hot Space is the last true experimental Queen album. That's just me. Anyway, this is the amazing Body Language from that album. This is a great single. I really like this Queen single. I think it's super, super cool. This is a nice little gem from the early 70s. This is Queen's first EP. It's got Good Old Fashioned Lover Boy, Death on Two Legs, Tenement, Funstar, and White Queen. It's a little taste of early Queen records. And this is a lovely little Queen record. I've got a few of these, and I gave one away to a friend as a present, because I think you should have this album. It's really, really cool, this little EP. What else we got here? Oh, sorry. We got a song that I used to play every Saturday when I was a DJ, without fail. It'd fill the dance floor. It would tell everybody it's the party time. The amazing Don't Stop Me Now by Queen. Check this out. This is a brilliant single. And I used to play this every single week. And on the back, look at John Deacon. Look, short haircut. Where is he? Hang on. There he is. Short haircut and everything. He's just completely different to everybody all the time, wasn't he? He was amazing, John Deacon. Right. We've got another Queen single, We Are the Champions, from the News of the World album, which is a fantastic Queen album. If you're not at the News of the World album, start your Queen journey there and go around from there. Do Night at the Opera, do The Game, and do what was I saying? Do The Game, do Night at the Opera, and do News of the World, and you'll get the best of Queen. Honestly, you will. This is the best stuff there. So yeah, it's a fantastic single. Also, what else we got? Someone at my front door. From a double, I think this is a double A side. I don't know if it is or not, but it should be. From Night at the Opera, this is We Will Rock You. And we've also got We Are the Champions. So I think it's a double A side single. Look at the artwork. Beautiful. Look at this. Beautiful artwork. Then on top of that, we've got a single. I didn't know I had this. See, I've got this habit of collecting things and I don't know I have them. And then I go through boxes and go, oh, I didn't know I had that. The amazing Roger Taylor, Future Management. This is from one of his solo albums, I guess. What's this from? Is it saying? Oh, Fun in Space album. So this is probably 1984. This come out. Yeah, that's really, really cool. They're in no particular order. Yeah, again, Queen. Oh, wow. Yeah, fantastic. I didn't know this was a single, but evidently it must have been. The amazing Spread Your Wings single written by John Deacon from the News of the World album. Now, if you've never heard Spread Your Wings, check out that single because it's one of the best singles they ever made. It's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, definitely check this out. And yeah, the cover's amazing. But this is a single that should have been bigger than it was. It's one of those things that should have been a much, much more promoted single, and people should know about this song because this song is one of the best Queen songs in the world. Absolutely amazing. And then we've got another beautiful record, Somebody to Love, the single. Absolutely fantastic single this is as well. Brilliant. That one. Early records are really boring because there's no covers to show you. It's all... Then we've got Killer Queen. Absolutely fantastic record as well. And then we've got the record that kicked it all off, Bohemian Rhapsody. And then here it is, 50 years later. There it is, 50 years later. Yeah, 2 copies of it. So yeah, brilliant. There we go. We've got Now I'm Here, more boring single covers. We've got You're My Best Friend, one of the best Queen songs ever written. Yet again, John Deacon hit another absolute amazing single, absolute smash record. And on the back is 39, which is their acoustic track, which I know George Michael used to do live. But yeah, You're My Best Friend. What a wonderful sentiment that is, written about his wife, Veronica, just to tell her. And he put it in an international single to make sure everybody knew it. That's amazing. Oh, you got 7 Seas of Rye, fantastic Queen single. Then we've got... These are my original copies from the 90s. The wonderful I'm Going Slightly Mad off the Innuendo album. And then they're on the back, looking really cool. Check that out, that's cool. What else we got? We got the actual track Innuendo as well. Fantastic track. There we go. Brilliant. And then we've got from the Miracle album, we've got the Headlong single. Oh no, is it Innuendo? It's on Innuendo. Oh, it's on Innuendo, sorry. Yeah, the Headlong single. Brilliant. Another good one. Freddie at his most fun. We got, like I said, I got a mix of solo and joint stuff as well. Freddie Mercury and the Great Pretender, and I love him in this single because he had Roger Taylor dressed up in drag in the background singing with him, and it was absolutely amazing. We got In My Defense, another Freddie Mercury record there. I don't actually remember that one. I should play this one. It's got Love Kills You. Oh, that's interesting. It's got Love Kills on the back. Then the pictures by Peter Hinch. Really cool. What's this one? No introduction necessary. The only band that could make like a soundtrack to an album work really well is this band, Flash. Check this out. Well, I just love that font as well. Look at that. You just notice that as soon as you hear that record or see that title, you just think, nah, da-da, don't you straight away. It gives you a sort of instant hit on that. We've also got another John Deacon record, absolute masterpiece, absolute monster from 1980 in the Game album. Another one, Bites the Dust. Absolutely great record. Great record that is. And now a brilliant collaborative single between 2 of the greatest artists of all time. And it was quite interesting. I went to Montreux to Queen's studio where they recorded this single, and AC/DC recorded there, and both these single artists recorded there as well. And it's the amazing David Bowie and Queen with Under Pressure. And apparently when they were recording it, they would go in separate rooms and write it. So, Freddie was writing a bit, Bowie was writing a bit, and then the idea was they were going to slide it together. And then Freddie found out that Bowie was listening in the doorway. All along, Bowie was cheating. And that's amazing. And anyway, you get this amazing single, which then got sampled by Vanilla Ice, but he never got sued because he put an extra bass note in it. So apparently that's fine. Yeah, but a fantastic record. I just love the black cover on this. It's just absolutely stark, isn't it? Anyway, that's some Queen singles for you. Right, let's take a look at some websites, shall we? Well, I can't actually remember what I've got loaded up, but let's take a look at some of these. What have we got? Oh, it doesn't want to work, I think. Hang on. What's going on here? No, you're going to work? Oh, my buttons don't want to work. Ah, there we go. So, what have we got here? We have got... let's get this for 1 second. or I had the spinning wheel of death then. That makes everybody panic. There we go. Right, okay. Back to the chat. Anyway, so Classic Rock released an article, and it's the 10 classic rock covers that were better than the originals. So this is for us to discuss whether we think this is true or not. I thought we'd take a look at this before I go. Right, so we've got... it didn't want to scroll. My computer's starting to melt. I can feel it. It's really starting to struggle. Okay, here we go. So, Knocking on Heaven's Door by Guns N' Roses, original by Bob Dylan. So the original was released in 1973. And obviously, Guns N' Roses covered it, and they did their rock version. Now, what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Do you think that's a good rock record, or is it not as good as the original? Because they're two different songs. You know, Bob Dylan does it as a sort of quiet message to himself, whereas Guns N' Roses absolutely do it as a screaming monster and smash it completely out of the park. So they're two different records in the same space, if that makes any sense. And I don't know if the rock version's better than the original because it's got a different sentiment to it, if that makes any sense. So I think they're very similar, but not the same. Oh, everything's just frozen on me. Oh dear. Okay, let's see what we can do. Here we go. Push that one. Oh, it's going so slow for me. I don't know. Hang on. Here we go. Now we've gone too far. Are you working now, computer? Do you want to work? You seem like you want to work a bit now. 1 second. There we go. So, A Little Help from My Friends by Joe Cocker, original by the Beatles. Yet again, me and my mate Andy, when we was on our YouTube channel, Chatting Tracks, we were discussing that you got to have a Ringo song on a Beatles album because it makes it just right. You know what I mean? You need one of those because when he's doing that, you wait for the Ringo record, and Ringo never fails to deliver because Ringo's brilliant. And what I love about when he sings it, it's a genuine, message to his mates. You can tell, he does it all with his mates, and that's what I love about when Ringo sings with A Little Help My Friends. And he's got his little unique voice, and he does it in his own style, and it's really special when Ringo does it, and that's why I love it. And then when Joe Cocker does it, he makes it a completely different beast. It becomes this soul ballad, which is just huge. And Joe Cocker had an amazing voice. He's someone I should listen to more, to be fair. But yeah, when you hear his version of it, it really just is absolutely incredible. And he takes it and, he does it at Woodstock, as it says there, and he put it in a different space and time, and he does a wonderful version of it. Absolutely brilliant. What else we got here? We've got All Along the Watchtower by Hendrix and originally by Bob Dylan. Yet again, Bob Dylan does it in a really subdued Bob Dylan way. Bob Dylan writes it the way Bob Dylan writes, and he's got his unique voice and he's got his special voice that he uses. And Hendrix just did a completely different, he made it more sinister. This is the time of the Vietnam War, and I think he was talking directly to soldiers, and he's basically saying, you watch yourself, keep an eye on everything, because it's all along the watchtower. They're watching for enemies, and I think that's why he was doing it in a different way. And he had that and he made it more like attention grabbing because of that. I think that's why that's super important, that single. Right, what else we got? Black Magic Woman by Santana and Fleetwood Mac. I watched a really interesting documentary on Santana the other day. I think it's on Now TV. You can find it on there, about Santana's life, and he was amazing. He literally is guided by his gut and spirituality, and if he didn't like the sound of something and his gut wasn't right, he wouldn't do it. And there was a period where he wore loads of white stuff, and it was really, really bizarre. But so originally penned by Fleetwood Mac in '68, Black Magic Woman found in life with Carlos Santana in 1970. Yet again, two different versions. The version that Fleetwood Mac do make it sound really dark and really dismal and really, not dingy, but it sounds completely different. Whereas the original one by, and the cover by Santana, it makes it more mystical sounding. So it goes from dark to mystical, in my opinion. They change just slightly, but they both sound real. They're both great singles. I don't think either of these is better than the other one on this one. I genuinely don't. I think they're both equal because they're both superb. What else we got? Give me 1 second and have a quick drink.
Follow and subscribe.
Thank you very much. So Eric Clapton's cover of Bob Marley's I Shot the Sheriff catapulted reggae into the mainstream in 1974. Now, in my opinion, Bob Marley's original is much better because it's more grounded in reality. Bob Marley was living in Jamaica and stuff like that, where, the lifestyle of, that culture, murder, guns, whatever you want to say, was, the chances are someone could have got hurt. Whereas, Eric Clapton singing about it in a mansion in Surrey doesn't have the same weight to it to me. It doesn't work because Eric Clapton is not in that situation. Eric Eric Clapton wouldn't have a gun for a start. So if you want to take it literal, it doesn't work in that sense for me, and that's pretty much why. But yeah, I mean, I love Marley's version. Yeah, Bob Marley's brilliant. Everything he did was genius. There was no bad footing with Bob Marley, and I think that proves it's absolutely brilliant. The Man Who Sold the World by Nirvana, an original by David Bowie. The Man Who Sold the World introduced a new generation in 1993 when Kurt did it at the Unplugged gig. And this is a really hard one to choose between because they're both so good. They're both so good. You know, David Bowie liked this cover for a start. He really liked this cover, so you know they were winning. But I love the fact that Kurt, when he plays the solo, he slides up to this note and it's wrong, and then he corrects it, and it's kind of raw and it's kind of loose. And when Kurt Cobain says, we passed upon the stairs, I imagine he could have done that. You know what I mean? And then you've got Bowie's version as well, which is kind of spacey and really distant and almost like a science fiction story. And that's what I love about them. Like, Nirvana's version is almost grounded in reality, and Bowie's version is almost science fiction. And that's why I think they both work. I think they're on par, these two. Let me know in the comments what you think, if I'm right or if I'm wrong. But I think these two are on par. I really do. I think it's hard to tell. Sounds of Silence by Disturbed and Simon and Garfunkel. I mean, you know, to me, the original of this one is always... I've heard the Disturbed version, and I think it's okay. But I just think, you know, Simon and Garfunkel's version is just the harmony. You need the harmony to make this song work. And the Disturbed did a very good version in it, but I don't think they had that version of it. Right, what else we got? Last Kiss by Pearl Jam and Wayne Cochran. Pearl Jam covered Last Kiss originally by Wayne Cochran from 1961, and it became their most commercially successful when released in 1999. I bet Eddie Vedder was peed about that. Originally intended for the fan club, but Pearl Jam stuck a chord with listeners worldwide. I like both versions of these. I love Pearl Jam. They're one of our favourite bands. Everyone knows that. But I do like both. I just think it's fantastic. So, yeah, hard one again. I suppose I'm just going to have to say they're both as good as each other on this one because they are both very, very good singles. And Pearl Jam had their own little twist on it and then brought a track from 1961 back that people probably would have forgotten about if it wasn't. I Love Rock and Roll by Joan Jett and the Blackhearts, originally by the Arrows. So the Arrows did it in 1975 and she did it in 81, but they're very similar records. They're not that much different in it. I just think Joan Jett popularised it and made it... she just made it popular. That's all she did. So it's the same record, really, in my opinion, but Joan Jett made it more famous. So, yeah, equal, I guess, maybe. I don't know. Hang on. Twist and Shout by the Beatles, originally by the Top Notes. I mean, the original Top Notes version is fantastic. And the Beatles did an amazing cover of it. You know, John Lennon ripped his voice out, trying to sing it. He literally tore his vocal. They did it right at the end of their recording session on the same day for the rest of the album because, you know, he wasn't going to be able to do it. So they saved it to last, and you can hear Lennon ripping his throat out when he's singing it. And that's what makes that record so special because John is literally just tearing his throat out. Different records. So, yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to go with... I'm going to go with the Beatles on this one just because I love the Beatles. There we go. And that's the list. There we go. We finished it. Yeah, sorry, I thought I'd come out of that because my computer's getting funny. It doesn't want to work. Anyway, right, I'm going to sign off for today. I'll be back next week, roughly around the same time, and I'll show you some more singles, and we'll go for some more bits and bobs. If you get time, do not forget to check our Chatting Tracks, the website there. So the YouTube channel, we've got deep dives, we've got album tracks, we've got all sorts of stuff on there as well. DJ mixes, you name it, whatever we can't get onto other streaming sites, a lot of it's on here. So definitely check that out. And yeah, thank you for watching and checking this out. I really appreciate you being here. And yeah, it's great fun. It's just great fun to hang out and talk about music. And if you know anyone that likes this sort of thing, if you can share it with them, because they might enjoy it as well, that would be most appreciated. And thanks for being here. And I'll see you next time. Love and peace. Have a great week. And I'll see you next Sunday, probably around 1ish. I'll see you soon. Love and peace. Ta-da.